Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. My filming plans for the day have kind of gotten ruined. I was planning on filming this video in my car and kind of having like laid back chill vibes, but unfortunately it has been pouring and storming outside all day long, so obviously we cannot do that. So here I am sitting in my typical answering questions spot. But to explain to you guys what today's video is all about, basically I'm going to be giving you guys some girl talk advice. And I honestly can't believe I have not done this video before because this is genuinely one of my favorite things to do. A while back I had a bunch of girls DM me about different things that were going on in their life and such, and so many people DM'd me. To this day, I've still not gotten to everybody yet, but I do plan on it. But basically, I was just giving people advice about breakups, friendships, like health and eating, like all kinds of stuff like that. And I did that one-on-one, and now I kind of want to do it publicly. So I had a bunch of you guys ask me questions on Instagram, and I'm gonna go ahead and explain them to you and give you some advice about it. I feel like I've been through a good fair share of breakups and friendships and all types of relationships and all that stuff. So when it comes to this stuff, I have a lot to say and I have a lot of advice to give. So let's go ahead and get started. So the first question is, how do you get over somebody that you used to love? I believe I began answering this question in my last video, but my video randomly like cut off and ended, and I think it was literally during this part, so I'm going to quickly kind of re-explain what concept I was explaining. So when it comes to getting over someone, what I have realized that really helps is like, don't focus so heavily on getting over that person. Focus more on doing things to just make your life better, because there really isn't much that you can specifically do to like change your emotions towards someone. Like if you love someone, you love them, you know, it's really hard to like break that feeling. So there's not much advice to give there. One piece of advice that I can actually give is like, if you went through a relationship where a lot of bad things kind of happened and you know there's an underlying reason as to why you broke up, sometimes making lists and kind of like reflecting on every bad thing that happened can really help. So it's like, if this happened and this happened and this happened, like write that stuff down and like repeat that to yourself. Like, I don't want to be with this person because they did this to me. So really reflecting on the entire relationship and the reasons on why you chose not to be in it can be helpful in getting over that person. But in a broader sense, what kind of helped me like after I went through a breakup is just deciding entirely not to focus on that person at all. Like when I woke up every day, I did not think, how can I get over this person? How can I stop loving them? I genuinely thought like, what can I do today to make me happy? And that genuinely really helped me. Because in a relationship, you always focus on that other person. So for once, you should focus on yourself. And what I did is I forced myself to get up every single day. I found a bunch of things to do that would, you know, take my mind off of that situation. Like I would distract myself, but I only distract myself with things that made me happier and made me feel more fulfilled. So truthfully, when it comes to getting over someone, the best thing that you genuinely can do is find ways to just simply make you happy and completely leave that other person out of the picture. I had told a lot of girls when I was DMing them back in the day, like if you can't control yourself and like you are so hyper fixated on what they're doing at that point, that's when you need to like remove them from your social media, remove them from Snapchat, like block their number even if you have to. I mean, I'm not personally a big fan of like blocking people, but like if you can't control that like urge in you to like not text them or not look at their Instagram posts and stalk them like all day long, like that step is really hard to take, but you need to take it so you can finally focus on yourself and be happy. I hope that was explained well, and for anyone out there who is going through a breakup, I'm so sorry because it is literally one of the hardest things to go through, but I always used to get so mad at people when they'd say like, it gets better, things get better. Like I would genuinely be like, you don't know what you're talking about, like life will never get better. But it really did, and now that I know that information, I can say that to someone else because it does get easier. So the next piece of advice that somebody is asking about is losing friends. So for me personally, I've had a pretty like stable friend group like throughout my entire life, but here and there I have had like different friendships where I've had like falling outs with and stuff that have really hurt me. And even with my stable friend group, like you guys know Josie, like me and Josie have not always been friends. Like we have had bad moments, we've stopped being friends. I think the longest time was even like 6 months. And obviously, wow. And obviously that was very hard on me and very hard for my life. I kind of have two different pieces of advice for this situation. So one route that I kind of want to take is like, if you have someone that is like a long-term friend, kind of like me and Josie, sometimes all it takes is to kind of sit back, look at the situation, kind of analyze like what went on between you guys and determine whether or not that is a big enough deal to not be friends with that person. And I kind of also explained this to a lot of girls who had DM'd me a few months back, because girls can be complicated and there could be something going on that is really not that big of a deal, and it's just two people who are being very stubborn and deciding not to communicate with each other. And a lot of the times it's like, oh, I'm waiting for her to reach out, or I'm waiting for her to reach out. Like, sometimes people have friendship breakups over really stupid things and they're just being too stubborn. So if any of you kind of have a situation going on like that, where, you know, you have so much love for this person, you want a friendship with them again, but things are just kind of rocky for you guys, be the person to reach out and have that conversation. I can't promise that it's going to go the way that you want it to, but at least you know at the end of the day that you made that effort and you like fought for what you wanted and you fought for like the friendship that you guys had, and they may or may not have a similar response, and that is okay. But a lot of the time, friendships that, you know, were very, very strong and long and stuff like that, like if you go through a rough patch, it's very easy to fix. So in that sense, if you were going through a little friendship breakup or you were losing friends over dumb things and you know that it is fixable, go ahead and try to fix it. Be that bigger person and everything may end up being okay. But the other side of things is if you have lost friends over very big issues, like if they did something to you, it really hurt you, and you've kind of decided like, I don't want to be friends with this person anymore, your life will get easier. And there are so many people in this world, and it is honestly what I have learned, so easy to make friends. Like for me personally, when I went through my breakup, I did not really at that point in time have many friends, because I was like in a relationship for 2 years, and you guys kind of know how it works. Like you keep your closest friends very close, but like you lose contact with kind of like all those other people that you see like every once in a while and stuff like that. So when I first went through my breakup, I was like, oh my god, I only have 2 friends, like what is going on? But I just made the effort to like reach out to people that I used to go to high school with, and I ended up like rekindling friendships with so many people, like so many. And it really just is that easy. Like I know maybe not everyone like has that opportunity to like reach out to old people and stuff like that, but it is even that easy to reach out to new people. And like if you have a job, like go up to your coworkers and try to communicate with them, and hey, do you maybe want to hang out outside of work? Or, you know, if you go to college, like just approach someone, sit next to someone in class. Like it really is that easy. Or even like social media, like we live in a huge social media world. You can immediately talk to literally anyone out there. And I mean, with talking to people through social media, please be careful, because it is a very, very scary place out there. But just because you lost a few friends, it does not mean your life is over. It is so easy to make new friends. And I know for some people it feels very hard, but you really just have to put yourself out there and beautiful things can truly happen. So yeah, in conclusion there, I feel like I kind of answered 2 questions. Like if you're going through a friendship breakup and you don't want it to be that way, just reach out. Or if you've lost friends that were necessary to be lost, look other places, because you don't want to be friends with people who are not good friends to you. This is a pretty deep question, but this is girl talk. Like I'm literally gonna pretend that I'm sitting here with my best friend right now and she's asking me this, and I'm gonna answer honestly for you guys. How did losing your virginity make you feel mentally? For me, it was mentally a lot. So I have talked about this briefly before, but I did lose my virginity when I was 15 years old, which, like, looking back, that is a very, very young age. And I say that I'm not regretful about anything in my life, which I stand by that. Like, I don't regret this specific incident, but it was very hard on me mentally, because I did at the time like this individual a lot, and I feel like I kind of put myself in like this situation, like, oh, I'll do this with this person and it'll make them want me, it'll make them want to date me. And I really, really truthfully thought that. So then I did that and I got ghosted, honestly. So mentally, for 15-year-old Karli, she was really hurt, she was really upset, but life moved on. So it was unfortunate that everything like occurred that way, but again, like, I don't regret anything. I feel like every situation that kind of happens in your life like leads you up to where you are today. So it's like, if that needed to happen to me for me to become the person that I am today, I'm fine with it. And I have like entirely gotten over that situation as a whole. Like, I don't hold any animosity towards that person. Like, it literally happened when I was a sophomore in high school. Like, if I was still thinking about that, or still like holding negative feelings towards that person, like, I would not be thriving in life right now. So I've dropped the situation as a whole, and it's just another part of Karli. It's another thing that happened to her, and whatever. It's not that big of a deal. So mentally when I was 15, it definitely sucked, but mentally as a 19-year-old now, I don't care about it. So the next question is, how did you know that you wanted to break up? And then they said they're very confused right now. So I'm not going to share the personal information about my own relationship and like, you know, what happened and how I knew that I wanted to break up with him or anything like that, because that's personal, but I can give kind of some advice on how you do know. Like, I feel like I knew we were going to break up months before we actually did. Like, I knew in the year of 2023 and we broke up in 2024. And honestly, the fact that you were asking me right now, how did you know that you wanted to break up, is kind of showing me a little bit. You know that you want to break up. And sometimes it's very, very hard to like fully come to that conclusion in your mind, but kind of the way that you know is you think about it. Like, you know it's coming. And that's kind of when you know. Like, I don't truthfully know how to explain it that deeply, but if you were in a relationship where you were 100% happy, 100% satisfied, like, you would not even think about breaking up with that person. So if you are having internal thoughts of like, hey, maybe I don't want to be with this person, or I can't see myself marrying this person, or our future might not be that well together, those are all signs that you are considering breaking up with this person. And what you can do at that point is choose to act on it or choose to not. And for me, like, I was kind of having those thoughts, like I felt that it was coming, but what happened for me is like something, a situation kind of happened that really solidified that decision for me. So for everyone out there, there may be long periods of time where you're thinking like, I don't know if I'm happy in this relationship. So you really need to deeply like sit with that and think about it. I know like immediately if you have those thoughts, like it might take you a long time to do anything to like act on it. Like sometimes those feelings might go away or sometimes they might continue and progress. Just do what is best for you. That's all I have to say. Like, if you have to think for 2 years, I'm not happy with this person, before you can successfully break up with them, that is completely okay. Like, everything can be done on your own time. So kind of just sit back. Don't think you have to make like an immediate decision or anything like that. But if you are considering on breaking up with someone, there's probably a reason for that. So you should probably think about that, evaluate, you know. The next question is your thoughts on teen pregnancy. So if you guys don't actually know, I have a friend who actually has a baby. She was 19 when she was pregnant, I believe, and now she's 20 years old, but she is by far the best mother literally in the world. I think everyone kind of has like differing, confused opinions about teen pregnancy, but because I've seen such a great example of a teenager who did get pregnant, I have very good opinions about it. I really think at the end of the day, like, teen pregnancy can be successful. Obviously, it really depends on the person, if they, you know, want this or not, like if they're dedicated to it, if they're willing to like put their life on the line to make their child's life like a good life. So it really, really does depend. I mean, technically I'm still a teenager because I'm 19. Like, I would say if I got pregnant tomorrow, like I would truthfully step up and I would fulfill the role of a good parent. Like, and you know, some people just can't do that and that's okay, but those people should not be having kids as a teenager. So again, it really just depends on the person and it really depends on the situation, but I have seen a very, very great example. My friend, I love her. She's amazing. The best mother I've ever seen. This question kind of connects back to the one that we were just talking about. When do you know if that person isn't right for you? Again, the fact that you are questioning whether or not this person is right for you kind of makes me conclude maybe this person isn't right for you. Because in my belief, if you are thinking, oh, maybe this person isn't the right one for me, that's probably a sign they're not the right one for you. And kind of the mentality that I hold is like, when I'm actively dating someone, it's like, is this the person who I'd want to be my husband? Is this the type of person that I'd want to be the father to my kids? So like, for example, if they just scream at you all the time, like they yell at you and you're like, oh, is this my person? Think far into your life. Like, what if they yelled at your kids that way? You know what I'm saying? Like, you got to make sure that the person you are with could literally be someone that you could spend the rest of your life with and start a family with and be with genuinely forever. And if you have to think so deeply, like, oh, is this person the right person for me? Like, I don't know if I'm doing the right thing. Like, I don't know if I really want to be with them. Signs point to you already know. Sometimes those things can actually be fixed. So like, if you don't like the way they do this, conversate about it and they might be able to change it. So you'll know if someone's the right person for you. It'll just feel like everything you've kind of ever wanted. And it's not to say that, oh, if these little things go wrong in your relationship here and there, like, oh, that person's not your person. Like, of course, every relationship has their little flaws and their little problems and stuff like that. Like, it would be impossible for two people to be together and for nothing to ever go wrong in their entire relationship. So don't take it as me saying that. It's just kind of more of, if there's these repetitive behaviors of this person doing the same thing over and over again, and you're like, oh my gosh, this is making me feel like I don't want to be with them anymore. If they can't fix that, then they're likely not your person forever. A lot of people are asking about cheating, like getting cheated on, like how do you cope with it and stuff like that. So I have been cheated on. Quite a bit. So obviously getting cheated on sucks, especially like prior to that, if you were very happy and like in love with this person and stuff like that. I think it's really up to the person and the relationship if you want to continue things after getting cheated on. I mean, I can't be no liar myself that, you know, after being cheated on, like I've stayed with someone before. But I've ended up leaving those relationships obviously since then. But really kind of what I've been thinking today is like, if someone can cheat on you and they can be unloyal to you, like what makes you think they wouldn't do that again? When it comes to getting cheated on, it's a very, very hard thing to deal with, because even though this person cheated on you, like, why do I love them so much? Why do I still want to be with them? And it can just be very, very hard to like come to a good conclusion for that. So kind of what I have learned is after being cheated on, like you can try to be with that person again, but you'll never fully trust them again. You know, you're probably going to start being a little bit more controlling over that person, which is going to bother them. And it's very, very hard to, you know, even know what to do after something like that. And I mean, there are people out there that I've seen who have cheated before and they have chose to continue their relationship and it has gone perfectly, which it's a very hard thing to deal with, but it really depends on those two people on if they can continue to work things out or not. So it's really up to you guys. Like if you got cheated on and you want to try things again, like go ahead. But I will be the first to tell you that it's going to be very hard and it's going to take a lot of effort from both of you, which sucks, because if you're the one who's getting cheated on, you're gonna want to just sit back and be like, you know, show me everything. But it takes effort from you as well to like at least try to trust and try to actually try again. Personally, I hate the concept of cheating entirely. I wish it was literally not a thing. I mean, I have gained the opinion that like if someone really does love you and wants to be with you and wants that future with you, they would never cheat on you at all. So like if I do get cheated on again by anyone, I'm not saying my ex-boyfriend cheated on me, by the way, it seems like that. I'm talking about the two before that. But like moving forward, if I'm in like a relationship with someone and they cheat on me, like goodbye. My husband wouldn't do this to me. The father to my children wouldn't do this to me. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, everyone kind of can have like their own opinions and their own choices based off of like cheating itself. I mean, I've seen relationships work after it. I've seen relationships entirely fall apart after it. So do what is best for you, do what you can handle, but never let a person cheat on you and then continue to make your life worse. Like, no. If they're gonna cheat on you and they wanna make things work, then like step it up and make my life better than it was before. And if they don't, leave them. This is such an interesting question. What does love truly feel like? I'm confused about love versus obsession. So I have been in 3 relationships, and I would say like my first 2 relationships, like I thought I was in love, but there was always this underlying feeling of like one day I'd want to be with that person and then the next day I wouldn't want to be with them. Like it kept flipping all the time. I was just like, I like you, but like, why do I not like you, honestly? Like, the more time I would spend with them, the more like I didn't want to be with them. But then like, all of a sudden I wanted to be with them again. Like, I don't know. I was so confused about me being with that person. So at the time, of course, like I thought I loved them, but I didn't. And then like when I was just in my last relationship, like all of those feelings went kind of out the window. Like it was literally just like, I could be with this person every day and my feelings would never change. Like I could never be confused about this. Like I could genuinely spend every single day with you. I'd never get bored of you. Like I was so secure in how I felt about this person. And that is how I knew, like for the first time, like, whoa, this is actually me being like in love. And what I've really figured out in life is there is a huge difference between loving someone and being in love with someone. So I think there's a lot of people like throughout my life that I've loved, like And that's a broad scale. Like that includes like my friends, my like family, and different relationships and stuff that I've had. It's like, oh, I have love for you, you know, but there will never be anything any different than being in love with someone. And the best way I could kind of explain it is like, you will know when you feel it with someone. Like, you really will. And if you kind of have to question, like, am I in love with this person? Like, do I love this person? Or is it kind of just like, oh, I love you and like I'm infatuated by you, like I'm obsessed with you? And then there's the other side of things where like you won't even have to question it. You will literally just know, like, I'm so in love with you. And you will know it. You will know. So if you are asking what does love truly feel like, that is a sign that you probably have not felt being in love with someone before, because if it happens, you will know what it feels like. All right, the last question that we're gonna do, because it seems a lot of the girlies want to know about this, having sex for the first time and some advice. I've seen some different people say, like, what do you do if you're not very like sexually experienced and you're like going into a situation like that and you're really unprepared and you're really nervous and you're scared. So what you kind of have to remember is every single person at some point in their life has been in the same position as you. Like, even the people who are experienced, like, they had to go through like having sex for the first time too. So know that you are not alone in that. Everyone has had to experience it at some point. So as general advice, like if you are going into having sex for the first time, hopefully it is with someone you are comfortable with. And if it is someone you are comfortable with, you can even explain to that person, like, I've never done this before. Like, I don't really know what I'm doing, like so and so and so. And hopefully that person will, you know, kind of explain things to you or make you feel more comfortable and stuff like that. Like, it's not really a scary experience. I mean, it can definitely be for the first time, but like, again, if you're with someone that you are comfortable with and they're more experienced than you, then like, if you communicate, they should successfully guide you through it all. My advice is to not have sex with someone that you're not comfortable with. Coming from me, I did that and it was an uncomfortable experience. So like, maybe don't do that. So I get the nerves and stuff from it all because it's genuinely like territory that you have not discovered before. It's kind of just like, whoa, what is going on? I've heard about this, but like I don't know how it works and stuff like that. But genuinely, like, if you are with a person that like you want to do this with, you won't have any regrets in the end. So just definitely make sure you're in a good atmosphere. Make sure you're with someone who makes you comfortable and understands you and stuff like that. They know your needs and you can easily communicate like how you're feeling about it. Like, if you can't communicate, hey, like, this is how I feel about having sex with you, don't have sex with that person. Like, you need to feel emotionally, mentally, physically comfortable with someone before you even get to that point. And if you're not at that point, don't do it. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I really hope you guys enjoyed it. Give it a little thumbs up, maybe subscribe, stay tuned for more videos and stuff like that. But I hope you guys enjoyed this little girl talk. I would love to do this more because I really don't talk about this kind of stuff a lot. And I feel like I said at the beginning of this video, like, I have a lot of experience in different situations with relationships and friendships and like all the deep getting cheated on, like body issues, like all of that. Like, I have experienced it all. So if anything, I would love to give kind of what I've learned to get through it all, like, to you guys. If I could help anyone out, I would love to. So if you'd like to see another video like this again, please let me know. But once again, thank you guys for watching and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.